Good afternoon, everybody. You're listening to 89.1 FM WXVU, Villanova student-run radio, The Roar. This is Fun in the Locker Room, as always, on 1 p.m.s on Wednesday. Sean Rankel, Liam Holloway, Trua Carstairs. We have a lot to get into, but before we talk about that, you guys were just listening to WXV Needs You. All this week, we're holding our fundraising campaign, WXV Needs You. This is your chance to support radio at Villanova University. Maybe you tune in for our sports broadcasts or our wide variety of student shows. Anyways, please visit give.wxvu.org. If you donate $89.10, you'll receive a T-shirt with WXVU's logo, plus all of the logos of our station shows. Visit give.wxvu.org. We thank you, our WXVU listeners, as we could not do this without your support. And moving on, we have our great show, a jam-packed show today with the NBA playoffs fully in gear. The play-in is over, and we'll get into that. But the playoffs, the first round... Each round has played 1 to 2 games so far, so we'll definitely get into that because we have a lot of storylines to talk about. Then we'll get to some MLB, some trivia to end the show, as always. YouTube, Fun in the Locker Room, Twitter, Fun in the Locker Room. Make sure to follow those on all of our socials to stay up to date, especially with all the NBA playoffs. You're not going to want to miss what we have to put out there. And if you miss any of our takes or miss any of the shows, go to the YouTube Fun in the Locker Room, same name. We have all the shows recorded on there and posted on the YouTube. Now, we have just a little recap before we get into some discussions. Warriors-Kings, that's the 3-6 seed. Kings are up 2-0. Suns-Clippers, 4-5 matchup, 1-1. Bucks-Heat, I believe that's 1-0, 1-8 seed. Grizzlies-Lakers play tonight. Lakers are up 1-0. Sixers-Nets, that's the 3-6 matchup, 2-0 in favor of the Sixers. Cavs-Knicks, 2-0 as well. It's a 4-5 matchup.
That's 1-1.
1-1, excuse me. Thank you, Rank. Nuggets-Wolves, 1-0. That's the 1-8 matchup. And Celtics-Hawks, 2-7, 2-0 in favor of the Celtics. Let's first talk about, I think, one of the most... well, they've all been really exciting matchups, but let's talk about Kings-Warriors. Kings are up 2-0. Light the beam. What do we have to say?
Yeah, before we get into it, just want to give a big shout-out to Mr. Sean Rankel, who just celebrated his 22nd birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday.
So happy birthday, Rankel.
Thank you, guys.
But yeah, let's get right into it. Let's light the beam, baby. You know, I was really scared to make this pick at the beginning of the series, but, you know, I had faith. I'm going to rock with it still. I think the Kings are coming away with the dub here. Obviously, we'll discuss the elephant in the room with Game 2. You know, Sabonis fell to the floor after getting pushed down, trying to get a rebound. I don't think he meant to grab Draymond's leg because he was, like, covering his face, but he did. He grabbed Draymond's leg. Obviously, should have got a technical for that. He did. But then Draymond wound up and stomped on his ribs, which he just shouldn't have done. The NBA comes out, they ejected him from the game, whatever. That should have been the end of it. And then the NBA came out and suspended him for Game 3. I'm happy that he's not playing because I want the Kings to win, but it's just not the right decision in my opinion.
And what did they say? I'm paraphrasing. They said based on his reputation and history.
Which, you know...
Should that be taken into account, though?
Yeah. He kicked Steven Adams in the nuts.
I think I'm one of the bigger defenders of Draymond Green on the show, and there have been times in the past where he has done terrible things. I don't think this is one of them. He is trying to run back down the court to run the offense, and he feels Sabonis grabbing his leg. And plenty of NBA players come out defending him. Plenty of former and current players saying that if they were in the same situation, they'd be pissed off and do something similar too. And there was a little stomp there. He probably did more than he needed to, but he was also he's trying to pull his leg up while getting his ankle grabbed, and the momentum goes somewhere. He obviously stamped him a little bit. I don't think it deserved a suspension. The ejection, a little harsh, but I'm okay with it. But the fact that you completely changed this playoff series by suspending him seems absolutely ridiculous. There's a time and place to do this, and this is not it.
The issue I have is I agree that, okay, so his ankle was caught. I have no problem. Sorry?
Grabbed.
It was caught in his arms. I have no issue with, you pulling it up. and you realize it gets caught, and you can't get your ankle free. That's completely unintentional. It's just the stomp, the I think his foot came down with more velocity than needed.
If he stepped on his ribs, it would have been fine. But he wound up and he tried to do some damage there. That's the issue.
I think the wind-up was unintentional, but once he found himself in a wound-up position, to bring it back down with that level of force, I think is just...
It's kind of interesting. I feel like the actual injury that occurred wasn't the actual him putting his foot on Sabonis. It's when he then pushed off Sabonis to jump.
Correct,
Which that part's almost
That's
like...
another part,
But also then, what else is he supposed to do? Because you got to get off him. Like, I feel like the beginning part was one thing, but then you realize, like, I now have to get off him, and there's no really easy way for him to get off other than trying to jump over Sabonis, who's got his legs in the air flailing.
I mean...
It's a little bit of both.
I think a better way to look at it is if we were playing basketball and we're in the same situation and I'm looking to put my foot on the ground and instead I collide with someone's chest, I'd be like, oh shoot, I just stepped on someone's chest. Let me be careful and move gingerly rather than use him as a springboard to get back into the play.
A step rather than a stomp. You just
Correct.
step on their chest. Like
I just think in the heat of the moment, he's trying to run back to the court, and he feels somebody grabbing his leg. And I think he probably didn't act in the best way possible, but I can slightly understand why he did it.
Draymond's lucky because he should have fouled out of that game well before this even happened. Screaming at the referees. He's one of the only guys in the NBA that can consistently scream at the referees with no reparations whatsoever.
Luka does it too.
Scream at the refs. Luka whines, he cries. Draymond screams and yells.
I don't even really have that much of an issue with the play itself. It's the after the play, during the dead space, when he just kind of acts like a buffoon,
yelling at the
fans, and little mini rant here. And I've tried to. I'll admit that from a biased perspective, there was a time when, from 2016 to 2019, I really did not like Draymond Green. Well, I really didn't like the Warriors from 2016 to 2019, and obviously there's a good amount of bias in there. I didn't really like the whole Kevin Durant dynasty, but with Draymond Green in general, I mean, time in and time out, I will defend him. I think he's a vital piece of a great dynasty. I think that, whether you think he deserves a deep boy or not, you can't take that away from him. He won a deep boy. He's a great defender. He's an integral part of that offense from a passing perspective. I'm not going to take any of that away from him. But, if you're 33 years old and you're a father and, you're a famous NBA player on a famous team, so you're inherently a role model. If you look back with the Steven Adams incident, you look back with last year with the Brandon Clark incident of pulling, the jersey of someone that's in the air, which is a big no-no. Everyone knows that in basketball. If you push or pull someone in the air, it's not a good look. And then you act you just act crazy, you run around, dancing around. It's just, these plays happen, and you can argue if he's a dirty player or not. I'm not going to have that discussion. It's just, you act like an idiot. Like just running around doing stupid things, like acting childish. You're a 34-year-old man. You have a child. You're a role model. It's just there's no. It looks silly. It looks silly. I think the Grizzlies one was way worse when he was just running around, hitting his head with his hands. Acting like a dummy. It's just like it's frustrating to watch because it's just nobody likes to see that.
But I think it's part of his stick. It's part of what gets the Warriors fired up. It's part of what makes him Draymond Green. One of I know we could have this argument all day, but he's really integral to that team. And what he brings to the court and off the court, and it's just entire antics, just fire up that team in ways that doesn't.
I agree.
Players
he's
can't.
The heart and soul of that team.
So that's why this is part of it. It might look foolish to people outside the organization, but inside the organization, they love it.
Yeah, but this just it makes everyone's life so much harder now. He's their best defensive player.
Well, that's the NBA's fault for
this
suspending
series.
him.
Yeah, but why even put yourself in a situation to do that? Now Curry has to come out and drop 50 if they want a chance to win.
But he got his ankle grabbed. I understand he went a little over the board, but if I'm running back down the court and somebody grabs my ankle and I'm trying to run, I'd be pretty pissed off.
You can't stomp though. It's the NBA.
So many NBA players have come out and said they're doing the exact same thing.
It's Draymond Green.
So many different players.
He committed a full court, chase down tackle on KPJ earlier this season who missed significant time because of it. He's known to do dirty things. It's just
there's time to put your foot down for the NBA, and I don't think changing a playoff series is it. I don't think it should have been done in the NBA Finals, and it shouldn't have been done here.
Unfortunately, the refs, the NBA, they're all human. It's impossible to make a decision without somewhat considering the past, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. Even if they're going to try and look at this as an isolated event, it's impossible to do that because it's Draymond Green. I don't think he should have gotten suspended because now I know Warriors fans are going to complain and moan about it. But I don't know, man. I've really tried to lessen my hatred of Draymond Green, but I was just looking at the clips of him trash talking to fans and just acting like a dummy. And you see he's got gray hairs in his beard. He is a man. He is a family man. It's just I don't know. With there's little kids watching this, little kids, that probably hopped on the Warriors bandwagon, when they were 10 years old in 2016, and they see this, it's just I don't know, just kind of rubs me the wrong way.
He came out with this podcast a minute after the game was over.
I bet.
Yeah.
I just think he's kind of a clown. I think he's great for the Warriors what he does, but you can't even put yourself in this situation.
I just don't understand how he put himself in the situation. I think Sabonis started this all.
You can't stomp though. You just can't stomp, and he stomped. All eyes will always be on him when it's the Warriors in a chippy game.
Yeah, but I just think the entire thing is just egregious. I think in all sports, in my mind, refs shouldn't decide games, and this kind of feels like the NBA deciding a playoff series.
I mean, I can't argue with that. That's
deciding a playoff series, the team that goes up 2-0 wins the series 93% of the time.
I know, but we've seen how a Draymond suspension has changed a series before.
That's true.
Agree, disagree. Let's talk more about basketball.
Yeah.
Let's get on the Kings side of things. De'Aaron Fox, who just won the inaugural Clutch Player of the Year. What a playoff debut for him in games 1 and 2.
Yeah, I don't know. Steve Kerr needs to figure something out because they just cannot stop the Kings guards. De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk looking like the best two-guard duo of all time right now. And I hate to say it, Jordan Poole has no business playing in this series. I think he should be limited to 10 minutes a game, if that.
Wow.
He hasn't been doing well on offense, and every time he's on defense, the Kings just attack him over and over again, and he can't keep up.
That might be one of the worst contracts.
Oh yeah, he played great for 40 games last season, great playoff run, but you can't just toss a guy a $140 million bag like that.
No, and he played great games without Warriors star players around him, he was carrying the team kind of. And now fitting it back into his organization, his defense is just so bad. It's terrible. And the Warriors are never a great defense team, but they were built on some decent defense. Mm-hmm. And him on the court,
I feel like it's part of their identity. Having Draymond there and Clay there, you have your wing defender and your paint defender. To bring up your point, so game 1, Fox and Monk combined for 70 points.
Yeah, I mean, Draymond said it, and people were like, "Oh, that's a little disrespectful. You can't let Monk score 32 on you." He's so right. You cannot let a bench player come and drop 32. That's just, you're never going to win if that happens. But the Kings, what they've been really doing well is getting to the free throw line. They attack Poole. They attack these guys, force help defense, and then they get to the line. And if you're shooting more free throws than the Warriors, you're gonna do pretty well. That's kind of been their key this series. But they have guys step up.
And we talked about at the beginning of the year, the lack of defense by the Warriors. I think True is definitely the one biggest of this, the fact that Moody and Kuminga were constantly getting beat, but just up and down. I think Gary Payton's got to play more. He's got to step up his defense. He needs to be on the court guarding either Fox or Monk. Like, they need to shut these guys down. That's the only way they're going to be able to win this series. Like, Gary Payton must be starting Game 3, especially with Draymond out.
Totally agree. If Wiggins or Gary Payton aren't on the floor for the Warriors, they're just gonna give up runs.
Yeah. And the Kings aren't a specifically big team. Like, they can run a lineup with Looney at the 5, Wiggins at the 4, with Gary Payton and Clay on the floor together, and they need to.
The problem is for the Warriors, though, they just can't stop the Kings role players. You know, Trey Lyles in Game 1 seemed like he 4 threes in a row. Alex Len played a great stretch of basketball, which I never thought I'd say. And then, obviously, Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox putting work. And you got to give credit where credit's due. The Kings have absolutely punished the Warriors. They make them turn the ball over so many times. Davion Mitchell has been playing incredible this series. Blitzing Curry every chance they get. The Warriors they're in trouble. They really are. I don't think anyone would have thought they'd go down 2-0.
Well, on the contrary, this is the best home team and the worst road team. So,
and the atmosphere in Sacramento these past 2 years has probably been the best of any series so far.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked. I saw this stat the other day, and I think it's a great attest to Kings fans. You know, it's not that far from the Bay Area to Sacramento. You know, Warriors fans, they could have, flocked over there if they wanted to, but they said 10% of tickets sold were to Warriors fans. It just shows that Sacramento, haven't been here in over a decade. They're really rallying around this light the beam thing, and I think it's phenomenal, to be honest.
It's sick. I don't know how you can't root for them.
It's such a funny thing because I don't know when they started lighting the beam, like if it's just a promotional thing or something like that, but this could have gone terrible for Sacramento. If they had light a beam after wins and they win 20 games like they've done the past couple years, it's terrible. Yeah. But they've rallied around and it's become a huge statement point for this team. It's fun. It's a fun thing about Sacramento.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Mike Brown, man. He's got to win Coach of the Year.
I agree.
What he's been able to do with his team, really turn around this city, and they have their identity now. Hard-nosed, gritty team that they prove they can play with anybody. Fun to watch. Really fun to watch.
Let's talk about Harrison Barnes' revenge game.
What
Two posters on Clay in the same game?
Told you guys.
Holy.
He's the X Factor.
Mm-hmm. You did. You were right about that.
That second dunk on Clay was crazy. But, that's a testament to the defense the Kings have been playing, They get out, they run in transition. They're going to be really hard to stop. You got bouncy guys like Harrison Barnes and De'Aaron Fox.
Bouncy Harrison Barnes, okay.
Harrison Barnes hitting turnaround threes, getting into the paint. They're such a solid all-around team. The Kings really don't have flaws.
Especially only flaw that they had going to the playoffs was their defense, and they've
turned it up.
They turned it up.
But my question for you, and this is a minor question, it's kind of up to Mike Brown. Do you start Malik Monk? Kevin Huerter has not been playing good this series.
I think you ride with Monk off the bench as your offensive guy.
Don't create the Kentucky backcourt.
No,
they're finishing with the Kentucky backcourt.
You run your rotations throughout the game, but there's no need to fix what isn't broke. I think having Monk off the bench just provides so much for the Kings, and having Huerter on the floor, he's just always a threat, even if he hasn't been playing well.
Yeah, this team has a lot of weapons, very young, as you were saying. The Warriors, relatively, they're the old guys. They have some youth in them, but a lot of their core is, they're not moving as fast as they used to. So, Game 3 is Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern on TNT at Chase Center.
Game.
We will see what happens. No Draymond Green, as we mentioned earlier. Yeah, this is a great series, and it's. I think it'll go. It's not going to be a sweep. It's going to be a lengthy series. So everyone, buckle up, because we have a lot more to go in that series. Moving on to the next series, Clippers Suns tied 1-1. I think you guys know what I want to talk about.
You got to talk about
Give me
Game 1.
floor.
Yeah, come on, Truett.
Get excited.
Okay.
About the Clippers, just to remind you.
About the Clippers, yeah. So I'm not the biggest Clippers fan. I used to really dislike a lot of the personnel on that team. I'm so glad Reggie Jackson's not there anymore. But I have my fandom for one player, Mr. Russell Westbrook, and he's been playing very well at the Clippers, and we don't pray for injuries at all. But when Paul George went out, Russ really showed that what he could do, and he shined and had a lot of great games. And this playoff series, I think, was a great chance to step up without Paul George and see, can you resemble a number 2 option again, and will the team to some wins. And as I've become accustomed to as a Russell Westbrook fan, I anticipated the worst. I'll be honest, I do. But I think a lot of people, when they look at this game, it really separates who knows basketball and who doesn't know basketball, because at first Twitter's just flooded with a 3 of 19 shooting, and yeah, that's not good. I'll keep it a buck. It's not good. 3 of 19 is not good. Most cases, it's not going to give your team a chance to win the game. But there is a lot more to the game of basketball than shooting. And, for everyone that watched, just looking at the pure eye test and the box score, just some amazing, tenacious defense, hustle defense from Russell Westbrook. Phenomenal rebounding, had 4 offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter, a lot of to extend the final possession that got them a shot and wasted some clock. Great assists, as we all know. Hustle steals or pokes or deflections, off Kevin Durant. 2 clutch free throws, and then the game-sealing block on Mr. Devin Booker, and then the tip back,
throw it off
him to basically seal the game. It was phenomenal. The 2 clutch free throws I was very proud of, because he's god-awful from the free throw line. The NBA put out a stat saying that when Russ guarded KD, Book, and Chris Paul on combined 59 possessions, they scored 6 points on 25% from the field. That was just in Game 1.
Wow.
And then Game 2, shot way better, shot very efficiently, more great defense. I think he swatted the living heck out of Kevin Durant at one point.
That block was sick. The mid-range.
Yeah, swatted Devin Booker again. He's just giving you hustle, man. And I don't think I think throughout the rest of the series, he's not going to end with an above-average field goal percentage. I think last night is, I don't want to say an anomaly, but it's going to be probably the best it's going to be for shooting. And it's not going to be like that all the time. But, I mean, what more can you ask than really hustle, rebounding, assists, defense? I don't know any other player in the league that could go 3 of 19 and impact a game in the way that he did. Maybe besides Curry, just because no matter what Curry's shooting, I'm not giving him any space to shoot the ball. But it's just amazing how you can just overcome that and be tenacious enough to really keep yourself mentally in a game and not get discouraged.
His last 2 possessions I think it was offense and defense in the end of the Game 1 where they had that play where they wanted to get the ball to Kawhi. Everybody knew they were trying to get the ball to Kawhi, and they were double-teaming Kawhi. And Russ was like, I'm just going to go score. Mm-hmm. And he brought the ball in the paint. He did a move, got fouled, made his free throws. That's just it allows the Clippers another scorer, another person who can take the ball that, to be honest, Russ has not really been in the past year and a half. He has not shown that, but he still got it in him. He's able to do that. And then his defense over there, and I feel like those 2 plays just perfectly described who Russ is, when he's got the confidence in playing who he is. I mean, he's got the heart, because he's constantly giving it his all.
I'll say this. The Suns are very lucky Paul George is not healthy.
Yeah.
Because this series, I don't think, would go more than 5 games. The Clippers played terrible yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
And the Suns, big 3, all played out of their minds, and they only lost by 11. They were in the game the entire time. If I'm the Suns, I'm really worried. I said it right when the KD trade happened. They trade the whole farm for Kevin Durant. And now in the playoffs, when you have to run those short rotations, I'll give Torrey Craig his credit. He was balling yesterday.
He was.
But he's not doing that every single game.
They're purposely leaving him open, and he made him pay for it.
CP3's not hitting every single mid-range shot like he did yesterday. The Clippers, I really think they have control, especially when their bench doesn't come out and drop 13 points.
Yeah.
The Suns bench combined for 13 points yesterday.
The Suns bench?
Yeah, only Okogie and Biyombo scored points.
That's right.
I mean, I think that's the biggest question for the Suns is, yeah, Durant is playing unconscious. Book is playing crazy. Chris Paul's doing his thing. But you're going to have a chance. You're going to have a time when there's only one of them on the court. Who are the bench players? Campaign is out. It's really Biyombo,
Okogie, and
Shamet.
Only guys who played over 10
Torrey
minutes.
Craig. Did Torrey Craig not play that
Torrey
much?
Craig
Started. But it's who are going to be these guys to step up? Yes, you shorten your rotations, but the Clippers bench. In Game 1, the Clippers starters got outscored by the Suns starters, but the Clippers bench far outscored the Suns bench, and I think that's a huge component of why they won. Norman Powell has been instrumental. Miles Plumlee's been very serviceable. I will say one of the concerns about the Clippers bench is they do not have a true point guard to back up Russ. You have this awkward scheme of you have Norman Powell, Terrence Mann, and Bones. And as much as I think Norman Powell's a phenomenal player, there's no point guard there. Those are just all scorers.
Poor Eric Gordon trying to play make yesterday was just
tough to watch.
Bilbo Bagless, like it was bad.
But he doesn't have a left hand.
But the Clippers, they win this series with their depth, and you know they kind of exposed DeAndre Ayton a little bit yesterday. He picked up 4 fouls really early in the third quarter, and he was out forever. That's what the Clips are going to have to do this entire series. Just attack, get these guys in foul trouble. Because if one of Book, CP3, or Durant has 4 fouls early, the Suns aren't going to be able to climb out of that hole. They just don't have the manpower to do it.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see how the Suns progress, not only in this first round, but if they do get past it going into the future rounds, because Kevin Durant and Devin Booker both had 44 minutes. These guys have not played 40-plus minutes a night all season consistently, and if they're gonna have to play 40-plus minutes every single playoff game for the Suns to have a chance, and we're gonna see how that wears them down. DeAndre Ayton had 32. Chris Paul 38 minutes a game. Like
that's not what you don't want.
You
that
can't have that. Chris Paul has played great yesterday, but it's Chris Paul. He's not in a great season. He's getting old.
That's a good point, Rank, because
the fatigue is going to hit them at some point when these guys are playing. All starters play over 30 minutes a game.
It's first round, so yeah, you got the adrenaline. You're excited. You'll give it your all, but end of this series, next series, that's a good point.
It's a wear and tear.
Like you saw the Nets Bucks a couple years ago, and Kevin Durant had his toe on the line. Like they tired towards the end of that series when those guys were playing constantly, and that team had more bench players than the Suns do now.
And let me tell you this. Next series if the Suns manage to win this one, next series is a lot worse playing the Nuggets.
Yeah.
They're going to be out. The big three are going to have to be on the court at all times.
Because the Nuggets have guys. They have 4 guys on the court who can beat you at all times. Because Aaron Gordon's been playing like that man this year. And they have a bench. You're going to constantly be throwing fresh guys at these Suns' big three.
It's going to be – I'm really excited.
The Suns are making it past the second round.
I'm really excited for this.
Shout out Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
Looking like 2019 Kawhi again on the Raptors. Man has a cold mid-range. Can shoot the ball from 3. Had 7 assists last night.
How many did he have yesterday?
31.
That was like
38 the game before.
Quietest 31 points.
Yeah, very quiet. Very efficient, 11 of 20. I mean, the man is such an underrated scorer. We all love, his defense, and he's a two-way player, and he's playing some phenomenal defense. But I mean, he's a scorer. You got to give him his flowers. He looks like the type of player to keep this team afloat, especially when, Russ playing well and Kawhi playing well. Nobody else on this team really got going. Kawhi is the type of guy that he can give you that chance. You'll always be in the game, even when only 2 players are really scoring the ball well.
Kawhi, when healthy, is a top 5 player in basketball.
100%.
Yeah.
He has been playing like this. He's battled through a lot of injuries. I know we make fun of him for all this lower manager stuff, but he's had legitimate injuries over the past couple of years, and I think we're finally, as Trude's saying, seeing 2019 Kawhi, and he's just one of the best. He's one of the more fun, best players to watch in basketball.
It's so good for the Clippers because they put him on whoever they want, and that that person isn't touching the ball for the entire possession. And if they do, they pass out immediately.
Yeah.
And on offense, he gets to his spot, he's making that shot.
Speaking of load management and you were bringing up the minutes, did you see the Ty Lue quote after Game 1 of what a reporter asked him? He's like, "Oh, so Kawhi played 42 minutes," and he's like, "This is what we've been saving him for."
I did see that. That was pretty good.
I'm sure Adam Silver didn't like that one, but
Ty Lue, they were running some interesting schemes yesterday. They were running drop coverage on pick and rolls.
that's what screwed them.
Letting D-Book step into these threes. And what's crazy is that probably happened like 4 times where D-Book would come off a pick and roll, all this space, nail a 3. If you just eliminate that, tie game. Like,
but they'll make adjustments. Ty Lue's one of the best coaches in basketball. Like he'll look at it, he'll make the adjustment. I think Game 3 in LA.
Yeah.
Go back to LA. Yeah. I think the Clippers did exactly what you want. You want to if you're the lower seed, you want to go in and steal one on the road, and they did that. So now they've got home court advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, you have 3 of the best mid-range shooters in the game, and you're playing drop coverage. I get, like, you don't want... I understand, like, you don't want Zubac and Plumlee to get, like,
just beat off
ISO'd
the dribble,
and beat off the dribble.
Sometimes you just got to take, you got to take it. I'd rather have CP3 driving into the lane than having him just take his patented mid-range jumper.
Yeah. As much as we've been pooping on the Suns, Booker and Durant balled out. Like they put on scoring clinics. It was incredible to watch.
This kind of makes me happy though, because it showed the Suns literally need to play a nearly perfect game to win. And they won by a good amount yesterday, but it was a lot closer than the score indicated. They held off a couple Clippers runs, and the Clippers made some really boneheaded mistakes too at the end of the game.
Well, and the Clippers were up double digits and then allowed a 19-2 run.
Yeah. So
you stop that run,
you win the game.
Easy.
Yeah. So Suns fans, be very, very careful. Be very worried.
All right, before we get on to our next series, just want to let you guys know, WXV needs you. Keep radio thriving at Villanova University. In the past year, we broadcasted 4 live concerts from the Mullen Center, started a podcast series with Villanova professors, Profcast, and began a weekly morning show, The Morning Roar, highlighting Villanova news and events. For your donation of $32, you'll get a shout-out from us on the air, and WXVU and Villanova student media stickers. Visit give.wxvu.org to make your donations by this Saturday. Make sure to donate, guys. It really helps out the station a lot. Now back to Fun in the Locker Room, 89.1 FM, WXVU. If you're just joining us, you've been hearing the NBA playoffs recaps, and we just went through the Suns, Clippers, and Warriors, Kings. What series do we want to talk about now?
Let's go Bucks Heat, because they play tonight.
Bucks Heat. Not much to talk about here.
I
mean, a good amount, but
I said at the beginning before this, I hate the injuries, man.
Yeah.
This series, it just ruined Game 1, having Tyler Hero break his hand. Giannis missed the whole second half or something like that. It's just...
I think you were the one.
Fun.
You texted us, Liam, mad about the announcer's comments about how... But the only thing that makes sense about it is because Giannis' injuries for one game, meanwhile, Hero's injuries for this series. Like, without Tyler Hero, they have no chance. But Giannis comes back.
That wasn't the context, though. He was only saying for the rest of this game, which was for context. The announcer said that Tyler Hero's injury was more devastating of a loss to the Heat than Giannis's was to the Bucks. And
unless he's talking about the series, it makes no sense.
It's just ridiculous statement.
Trying to defend him a little bit.
But if Giannis is going to have issues, Jimmy Butler's going to eat. Playoff Jimmy's just,
Yeah, I said going into the series that the Heat would push the Bucks to 6 games, and I'm completely believing that again now. I just think Jimmy Butler is such a tenacious, playoff basketball player, and he can guard Giannis. Bam can guard Giannis. They can do things to Giannis and make Giannis work a little harder. And I think the Heat are a really tough matchup for the Bucks, but I think the Bucks are going to win the series without Tyler Hero. But I just think it's going to be a good series.
Giannis is doubtful for tonight, and if he ends up not suiting up, if you're the Heat, you have to win this game.
Yeah.
You have to go. You have to get it to be 1-1 going back to Miami.
2-0. It would be 2-0.
It'd be 2-0 going to Miami.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, 2-0. That would be
huge.
crucial.
You still have to win this game if you're the Heat.
You still have to win this. You can't let the Giannisless Bucks take one in Milwaukee.
That'd be a huge if he can find a way to win tonight and Giannis doesn't play and they can go up 2-0 going back to Miami.
Yeah, I think that's the only way you win this series if you're the
They
Heat.
can win the series.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 1-1's not terrible going
But
back to Miami.
you're not winning
But
that
if Giannis
series,
plays
yeah.
Game 3, I could see them taking both in Miami.
Yeah.
You just need to come out of the gates just absolutely on fire tonight.
How did Bam play in Game 1?
Bam had 22 points, 7 assists, 9 rebounds.
Pretty solid. I mean, the
No
problem
blocks.
is when Giannis is on the court, Bam's
Yeah.
not doing that. But
Yeah. Kyle Lowry's going to have a big game, especially without Tyler Hero. These guys are going to have to step up.
shout out Max Strus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
guards will have to step up, though, in the absence of Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Does Duncan Robinson play anymore?
He had 8 minutes. Or 6 minutes. Sorry.
Basically
what a
out of the
fall
6
off,
minutes, 3
dude.
points.
What a fall off.
Well, I mean, if you can only shoot threes,
Yeah.
And you're not making
you
them?
can't play defense. Yeah.
Shout out Kevin Love, though. He had 18 points on 4 for 7 from 3.
Yeah, dude,
Wow.
he was stroking it.
Impressive.
Underrated pickup. I feel like that was a really quiet pickup for them, too.
Yeah.
At the, not the deadline, the, what's it called? Waiver wire, whatever it is.
Buyout market.
Let's talk about the
Thank you.
Lakers Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Lakers Grizzlies.
Shout out to my boy. Shout out to my boy Austin Reeves, bro. Absolutely took over the game. Led the Lakers on, what was it, a 15-0 run to end the game? That behind-the-back pass was just so sweet, so butter. Steps into a 3, launches it, little crossover, mid-range fadeaway, thank you. He was just cooking. You know, when you have games like this from Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura, you're not gonna beat the Lakers. You're just not. You know, Anthony Davis did his thing. I'll give Jaren Jackson his flowers. He played really well in Game 1, and he was kind of the reason they were in it. But Jaws out.
Did you see who was the center who made a joke about the Memphis Grizzlies block thing?
It was Troel.
Was it Joel? Yeah. Joel Embiid was like, I would have had a lot more blocks. We need to bring the Memphis scorer over here
Yeah,
to
that's
do the
funny.
thing.
It's true, though. I mean,
Yeah.
there's video evidence of it.
Yeah. The Lakers played really well, and when their role players can play like this, like they have some very talented role players. I know after the trade deadline, what they did, bringing in these guys, like LeBron didn't have a great game, but they were able to overcome it, and he obviously scored 21 points in this game
how
by
often
LeBron
can you say
standards.
that?
I know, exactly. But this team does have players around him that can win games, and Anthony Davis needs to play better. But
Did we all pick the Lakers?
yeah,
I have two main takeaways from this. Austin Reeves and Hashimura are the next coming of Magic and Kareem. And Rank, I do want to disagree with you a little bit, just because Anthony Davis, 22 points efficiently, doesn't look that good. 12 rebounds, 3 steals, 7 blocks.
his defense
7
was good.
blocks?
His defense
7
was good.
blocks, a plus minus of plus 27 too.
They were in
Yeah.
Memphis though.
It was Bane.
They were in Memphis, yeah. And LeBron, for not scoring as much, had some
great
great
defense.
defensive moments.
I know, but overall, like you'd expect
Totally, but
more.
I think one of the best parts about LeBron's game is, he's the king of making the right plays, and I think he realizes if Reeves, Davis, and Hashimura have something going, and even D'Lo had almost 20 points. He doesn't need to be that. He doesn't need to impose himself into the offense in a destructive manner, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Is Ja out for the series now, or
Said his pain tolerance is a 10 of 10. So I don't really know what that means.
what is that?
Pain tolerance means he.
Yeah, so you can tolerate.
No, I'm sorry.
pain,
His
or-
pain is
His pain
his
is a
pain
10?
is a 10 of 10.
So if Ja doesn't play, Lakers sweep maybe, because I really can't see
He's
the
a game-to-head decision for game 2.
I really
I
can't.
think he'll play at some point again.
Even with Ja in, he did not have a good game, which was weird. They were relying mostly on Desmond Bane to kind of get their offense going. Desmond played okay, but he just was getting shouted at the rim. LeBron
Desmond's
and
not
AD.
that man. Like he
Yeah.
needs he's like a Clay type of guy. Like he needs
Yeah.
somebody around him.
I don't know how serious this is, but if on ESPN, Davis, LeBron, and Schroeder are all doubtful for tonight.
What?
I hadn't heard anything
they're,
about this.
They're gonna.
I think they're
they
going to
have-
play. It's
yeah,
very
yeah.
weird. It just says on the ESPN injury report. But You said Jaws game time decision?
Yeah.
I can't just give a sweep to the Lakers. I can't even really give them a certified win because, Desmond Bain at the end of the day has a point. I don't think Hashimura is dropping 30 a game on missing 3 shots. Like, it's not going to happen. Austin Reeves, I think, is going to be consistent. Maybe not the level of dominance, but he'll get his scoring. If Reeves and Hashimura come back down to earth, then to your point, Rank, I don't think this play from Anthony Davis and LeBron offensively will be enough. I think they're going to need one of them's going to need to score 30.
I think they will, though. If Hachimura is not dropping 30 points, LeBron is.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say.
And the Grizzlies, they just need to step it up at the end of the day. That's kind of all it is, too. They need to step it up.
I will say, sadly and disgracefully, this Lakers team is scaring me.
Oh.
It is scaring me to the point where I think LeBron could potentially win a 5th ring with this team.
Oh.
That is
I'm getting
somebody clip that. Clip that.
I'm getting a little concerned that
Wow.
I will have to make decisions and have discussions in the show or over text messages that I don't want to have.
Clip that. Somebody.
Okay. Rank, I just want to throw this out there.
They are scaring
So
me.
your prophecy does come true.
I don't want to speak anymore about it.
Time will
Maybe
come.
we'll just leave it at that.
The time will come.
Yeah.
It's just scaring me a little bit.
Game 2 is tonight. Last one in Memphis till they go back to L.A. A 2-0 lead for the Lakers going back to L.A. I think would be devastating for the Grizzlies. I think we can all agree with that. But we'll have to see. Shout out Jaren Jackson Jr. for Depoy. I think they awarded it to him yesterday.
Congrats, man.
I'm not going to comment on that. I think Brooke Lopez and Mobley had better chances.
A quick shout out to John Morant for saying that nobody in the Western Conference scares him. I think he's probably rethinking that right now.
Somebody put that quote on the wall and frame it.
Old takes exposed about a fun one when they get swept in the first round.
And they wonder why they're a dislikable team.
Yeah.
I understand they're
So
playing
cocky.
into it. They're kind of like a little bit of like bad boy Pistons. Like nobody really likes them. They play a little dirty sometimes.
Yeah, Jaren Jackson.
At least they're embracing it. At least they're embracing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to really like Ja and Jaren. And I still love Steven Adams. It's a shame he's not playing. Maybe he could be the good guy on this team. Nets Sixers.
Why is he not playing at all? Is he hurt? Oh, yeah, right.
Hurt.
He's hurt. Yeah.
Sixers are up 2-0. Takeaways from this.
Yeah.
Nets scared him in game 2, though.
Yeah.
A little scary.
That's a fight.
Jacques Vaughn literally doing the game plan of anybody else can beat us except Embiid, and the Sixers are just better than them, so they have guys step up. No, Embiid's only averaging, 23 this series, but
Gets double every possession.
yeah, he gets double every possession, and the Sixers are just a better team everywhere.
Shout out Tobias Harris. Shout out Maxey. Role players coming into their own, having good games. If Embiid's not gonna get the ball in his hands as much, you gotta do something.
I want a quick shout out to the Nets. So they held the Sixers to 96 points, which is one of the best offenses in the NBA. It's impressive.
But if you only drop 84.
Oh, I know.
The defense is stifling, and I think that's why they had a real chance to win the game in game 2. Cam Johnson kind of went off at the beginning of game 1.
Dunk was crazy.
Yeah.
What do you have? 22 first half points or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But they're very they got two-way wings, and
I'm intrigued.
it's just not. It's tough when Dinwiddie's the ball handler.
You need an offensive star.
I'm
on that
intrigued
team.
to see, though, because there's been a little controversy between Jacques Vaughn and Cam Thomas.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see, because he got asked the other day, like, do you ever think about bringing Cam Thomas in when you guys can't score? And he's like,
He hasn't been playing.
he's not been playing. He's like, I don't really think the scoring's a problem. Like, we just haven't been able to make our shots. Like, we've been able to get shots, we're just not making them. Because the other day when he dropped 41, like, before the playoffs, he's like, gonna play Cam Thomas more? He's like, well, he scored 41 when we lost, so not really impacting us in the game. So I'm intrigued to see if he does play, because I think it gives him another edge, but
It's a bad answer.
I mean,
on
it-
his part.
it-
there
to be
seems to be
fair,
some controversy with Cam Thomas and
It was
Jacques
41
Vaughn.
points on 29 shots. Like,
Yeah, he's
he
a
was
big
just shucking,
ball
and they
guy.
lost by 30.
yeah,
So,
He's a great G League guy. He's like when Mac McClung dropped like so many points in the
I
G
think
League a couple years
Cam
ago.
Thomas could be a great bench piece.
But I don't think, but he needs the ball in his hands too much. It's like the guys who go down the G League and dominate because they
Yeah.
can have the ball in their hands.
yeah, that's fair. Quick stat. I thought that was really interesting. They're 2-0, but Harden in game 1 went 7 of 14 from 3, but 0 for 7 on his layup attempts, and 3 of them were blocked. So I think the interior defense and the wings, once he can do his step back 3, like that's still an unguardable move. Maybe not to the level it was in Houston, but when he gets inside the 3-point line, he's having some difficulties. The Nets wings and Claxton really get into him. Don't think it's going to have a huge impact on this series.
But going forward, maybe.
Going forward and going to Brooklyn, they would play. Well, they play the Celtics next round, and Robert Williams.
If they beat the Hawks.
Well.
Okay.
just they haven't won the series yet.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. I hopefully Harden steps it up. I hate when he chokes in the playoffs. It's not fun.
Yeah, he absolutely torched Dinwiddie though.
Yeah.
He put Dinwiddie in the blender a couple times. Knicks Cavs.
Yeah. Very fun series so far. Knicks came out fighting in the first game. Got a 10-point lead towards the end of the game. The Cavs clawed their way back into it, and then Knicks just put it away. Offensive rebounding. I really thought, in my opinion, rebounding was going to be a big thing because of the size the Cavs have. But Julius Randle able to get some tough rebounds late in the game. Jalen Brunson getting some tough baskets. Josh Hart pushing through injuries. I don't know. The Knicks were a very fun team to watch in Game 1. And they put on a clinic against the Cavs. Like, I really thought that this series, probably not over, but I thought the Knicks were going to win it. But the Cavs came back yesterday.
They just dominated.
Yeah. Donovan Mitchell had a great game. Proved who he is. He's a playoff performer. Like, we've all known that. He's done it for years. Yeah. Ability to score the basketball, and they played really well. And it's going to be a tough series going back to MSG. One big issue, at least for me, is R.J. Barrett has been absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It's going to be tough for him because the combination of Jared Allen and Mobley, getting to the rim is a big part of RJ's game. You can't really do that against the Cavs. Having to rely on his jumper is not a recipe for success. But the Cavs said after Game 1, we got to come out. We have to be more physical. And right from the jump yesterday, it was their game.
Yeah.
Shout out to Garland, too. Played really, really well yesterday.
Garland did. Mobley's playing well defensively. There's a well-oiled machine. Kind of surprised. Isaac Okoro only started and played 3 minutes only.
Interesting.
Weird.
Did he get hurt?
I don't know. LeVert played a lot at 24 points. He played really well. The Cavs are a good team. I think it's going to be a really tough series. I still am picking the Knicks to come out ahead of the series because going to MSG's been dying for some Knicks playoff basketball, and
it's going to be loud.
I think this team is finally the team that can give it.
If they've gone, it just hasn't been good.
The Hawks series.
That Hawks series.
I think it's been like
so
one
bad.
series in the past 7 or 8 years.
That's true.
And the Hawks series didn't really ever have a chance in. This series, they're 1-1 come back to New York.
Taking one in the land was pretty big.
Yep.
But this Cavs team is good. Maybe they just needed one game to kind of rattle them to wake up, because I think the box score or the final score makes it look closer than it was. They were up like 20 plus at one point. So, Frank, you still think the Knicks are going to win? Liam, has this changed your projections?
I was surprised to see the Knicks come out and play the way they did Game 1, but I just think the Cavs have Donovan Mitchell, and the Knicks, Donovan Mitchell versus Brunson. I just think the Cavs have too many other guys on their team, certified guys too. Garland's always going to hoop, but Mobley and Jared Allen, I think over the course of this series, they have to dominate Randle. That's kind of all the Knicks have down low. Is their only big guy. So
Mitch Robinson's got defensively, but
he's still
offensively is not much.
So I'm still rocking with the Cavs on this, but easily 6-7 games for sure. No team's gonna just walk out and win these next 3. No way.
Yeah. We always talk about the Cavs defense. That's definitely their calling card. Nobody on the Knicks in Game 2 except for Josh Hart, and that was on 2 or 3 shooting, shot above 50%. It's gonna be tough to win, as Rank talked about. RJ Barrett has not been good, but Brunson, who's been reliable for them, 5 of 17, 1 of 8 from 3. It's not gonna get the job done in the playoffs. Randle, 8 of 20, 3 of 7 from 3. It's gonna be tough. when the defense is that stifling. And maybe, I don't know the specifics on all these shots. Maybe a lot of these shots were in the paint or in the three-point line where, their defense, that interior defense is crazy. And I think this Randall-Mobley matchup has been really interesting to watch. So we'll see how this series progresses. Before we get into Nuggets-Wolves, once again, WXV needs you. With your support, we hope to remaster our entire music library, invest in a backup FM transmitter, and acquire some more equipment to broadcast Villanova baseball, softball, hockey, and lacrosse games, and even acquire a studio water cooler. Visit give.wxvu.org to participate. Go donate. It helps out the station a lot. We just mentioned all the things that will help us out with, so make sure to go donate. Fun in the Locker Room, 89.1 FM WXVU. Just finished up the Cavs-Knicks recap. Nuggets, T-Wolves. One game into the series. Nuggets up 1-0.
I don't think there's really much to say.
Only takeaway I have is the Kyle Anderson Christian Braun fight. It was kind of fun to watch. But
Kyle Anderson is a fool. He needs to be humbled. That hairline is not doing well, buddy.
That jump shot is
the jump shot
slower than
tough to look at. Stay humble, my boy. That's all I gotta say. But
there's really not much to talk about here.
Yeah, the Wolves have not played well. This experiment seems to have failed, and we'll see what they do in the
do you
offseason.
think they get one game?
No.
Sweep.
Pure sweep.
Pure
Gotta be
sweep.
Yeah.
I think game 3 or 4 in Minnesota, they'll have a chance. Like, they'll be in the game in the fourth, unlike this game. But they're not going to
Yeah,
win.
the problem is just nobody on the court can guard Jokic.
Nope.
Go Bear. Jokic just, for some reason, always turns up against that man. Always.
You guys definitely saw the ESPN quote when Gobert was like, I got him. And, bro, and then Jokic's like, brother, I have 47. Just the definition of this series right here.
Yeah.
And Jamal Murray's a playoff guy. Like, he didn't.
We know that, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to do his stuff.
Double Jamal.
But this is really nice for the Nuggets because you think the 4-5 matchup, the Suns and Clippers, is probably going to go 6 or 7 games minimum,
Nuggets will have some nice rest.
Nuggets will have, a lot of rest. So they're going to be in a good position. Celtics Hawks, I think, kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'm not going to say anything about the series, but the who's going to win it all. But the Celtics have played really well. Derek White dropped 25 points yesterday. They're deep. They got so many guys who can get their points, get their baskets.
It's just not a fair matchup.
I mean, you
at all.
look at the roster, you go player by player on the roster.
Yeah.
The Celtics player is just so much better.
Yep. I'm intrigued to see if Trae Young gets traded. I hear a lot of Trae Young trade rumors right now.
Really?
Yep.
Right after investing all that in DeJounte Murray.
So
What was it 4 firsts or something? 3?
No way. It was 4. Was it 4 first?
3.
But NBA did a little polling before the regular season ended, and Trae Young was voted the most overrated player by far.
Yeah.
Which,
First
wasn't
rounders.
really that surprising. You look at his recent playoff games, shooting performance is looking like tour dates, my boy. Not good.
No.
Not good at all.
It's really crazy because if they didn't make that run to the Eastern Conference Finals, the whole Trae narrative would be so different.
That's very true.
It really shows just one playoff series against the Knicks and one playoff series against when the Sixers weren't playing well.
Because they would have nothing.
And Ben Simmons not on that team.
Literally nothing.
Track record would be nothing.
If Ben Simmons could make a layup, Trae Young
If Ben Simmons made that layup, we'd be talking about.
That's true.
Trae Young would be gone. Deontay Murray trade probably wouldn't have happened.
It's funny you bring up the poll. Did you see they had who's the GOAT, right? And obviously you have the Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, but tied for 1% was
T-Mac.
Tracy McGrady. Who was saying Tracy? Hey, I respect that, dude.
Also, kind of crazy. They had who was the coach do you not want to play for?
It was all Tibbs.
And it was Tibbs had 40% of players
Really?
said they didn't want to play for
I
Tibbs.
kind of understand that, though, because it's either you're playing 40 minutes or not.
He grinds he grinds regular season though also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is surprising because these Knicks games, I think the minutes have been pretty balanced for a Tibbs coached team.
Yeah. But he just grinds throughout the regular season, and players want to rest in the regular season. He's not
Totally
big
fair.
into the rest.
Totally fair. All right, before we get into... So we have 2 special things today. Rank, why don't you do your trivia first?
Okay. Let me just pull up a stat page real quick.
We have Rank's classic NBA trivia. And then I found this on Instagram the other day. It's all sports. It's crazy but true facts.
All right, I got my stat real quick. Okay. fun fact, I don't know if you guys seen the controversy of whether the scoring title should go to whoever's got the highest points per game or highest points in a season. So I got top 25 points in a season.
Ever.
There's 13 guys who make up the top 25 because some guys repeat each other. Can you name the 13 guys who are in the top 25 most points in a season?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, yes.
How many?
He has done it. He's the 3rd, 6th, 12th, 17th, 21st, and 24th. On the
How
list.
many is that?
How many unique ones are we looking
There's
for?
13 unique.
So Jordan. We'll go Kobe.
All these guys have over 2,500 points in a season.
Kobe.
Kobe's done it. Yep.
Harden,
Yep.
LeBron,
No.
Curry.
Nope.
Melo.
Nope.
There's got to be a ton of old guys on there. Wilt.
Yep. Wilt's done it a lot.
Kareem.
Yep.
Hakeem,
Nope.
Elgin Baylor.
Yep.
Jerry West.
Nope.
Just think of scores. Scores. How many did we get so far?
You have Wilt, Jordan, Kareem, Kobe, Elgin.
So 6. Shaq.
Nope.
Really?
No Shaq.
I'm surprised Melo didn't.
What's the threshold? Like we're just saying most
2,500.
2,500.
Trey Young.
Nope.
Embiid.
Nope.
So what does that average look like? Like
It just depends how many games you
Depends
play.
on, most of these guys played like 82 games
Yeah.
in the season. So these guys are averaging like 50, over 31. Wait, so you guys have Wilt, Michael,
Is Shea
Kobe, Kareem, Elgin Baylor. So Elgin, yeah. Baylor.
Shea was hurt, right? He missed a couple games.
Nope, not Shea.
Yeah.
These guys,
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant's done it. Yep.
How have we not done that?
Yeah. I'm surprised
You guys say
Curry's
James
not
Harden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Curry's not in there.
Nope. One more current guy. Currently still playing in the NBA.
Is Russ in there?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's Russ.
Oh my God, that MVP year, baby.
Okay, we're talking 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, some 90s. There's some early 2000s, 90s and olders.
How many do we have left?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like a couple guys you're gonna get. Some guys you guys won't get. There's some old guys that like just randomly show up on these lists. Like
Moses Malone.
nope. One Liam loves to say.
I love Elgin Baylor. I don't know. He was already on there though.
Bob McAdoo.
Dude, he's on every single trivia.
Bob McAdoo.
It really is.
They were
dude.
showing his 50.
One guy in the 80s and 90s.
today.
I was shocked he was on those lists. to be
Larry
honest.
Bird.
Nope.
You were shocked he was on this list?
Kind of, yeah. I didn't really think it was this much of a score.
Charles Barkley.
Nope. He did an 89-90. The Utah Jazz.
Stockton?
Not Stockton. but-
Havlicek.
No.
Malone?
Yeah. Karl
Right.
Malone did it.
That's not. Yeah.
Other guys, I'll just give you the other 3. Rick Barry, Nate Archibald, and George Gervin.
Oh, could have got the
Iceman,
Iceman.
yeah.
One more fun thing for just my enjoyment. LeBron James appeared at number 36 on this list. Can you guess what year he scored the most points
In his career?
in his career? What season was it?
I'm going to go early Cavs.
I'm gonna go late Cavs.
Liam be right. 2005, 2006, LeBron's 3rd season in the league
Yeah.
with the Cavs. He scored, I don't know how many points.
His roster must have been atrocious.
Yeah.
It's absurd. All right, these are my crazy but true facts. Before we move on to a commercial, and then we'll be back with some MLB news from around the league. Crazy but true. Phillip Rivers is not the all-time Chargers leader in children. He has 9 kids. Antonio Cromartie has 14 kids.
That's a good fact right there.
Crazy but true. Steph Curry is now 2 of 11 in shots to tie or take the lead in the final 10 seconds in the playoffs. Crazy but true. Crazy but true. The Oakland A's starting rotation has an ERA of 10.2.
Oh,
I don't really know hockey, but I don't know if you guys
So
do.
bad.
If you know who Jonathan Huberdeau is,
I heard the name.
no idea.
he is the largest drop-off in points in NHL history this year, from 115 to 55.
Wow.
Just half.
Half.
Yeah.
Crazy but true. LeBron James has now played the most playoff games for a player in North American sports history. with 267.
That makes sense.
That's about right.
Crazy but true. I swear I'm not making these up. There just happens to be a lot of stats in here I like. Tatis, last 8 AAA at-bats, 8 for 8 with 5 home runs and 10 RBIs. He'll be back this Thursday, and we'll talk about that a little bit, so I'm very excited. Crazy but true, the Jets have a Super Bowl win but 0 AFC championships. Crazy but true, the Kings haven't lost a playoff game since 2006.
That's a good one.
Crazy but true, Alec, I'm going to butcher this name, Ovechkin, hit a hole-in-one his first time ever golfing. It's a hockey player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And finally,
He's a big hockey player.
Yeah.
what?
Surprised you haven't heard of him.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. Sorry. Crazy but true, the New York Jets have never beaten the Eagles. 0-12. Wow. Those are my crazy but true facts of the day.
That, not necessarily. I watched the Jets whoop them in a preseason game.
Yeah, they always play the
sorry.
preseason.
I'll make sure to DM the owner of the account and say they're wrong.
Jets Eagle preseason games.
It was lit.
All right, everybody, you're listening to 89.1 FM, WXVU, Villanova Student Room Radio, The Roar, Fun in the Locker Room. We'll be back in a couple minutes. Stay with us. We're going to get into some MLB trivia and recap and news. You've been listening to our NBA playoff recap so far. We'll be back in a minute.
Now, here's your 3-day weather forecast for the main line.
Sunny skies for your Wednesday. We'll get up to 65 degrees. Mostly clear skies tonight, down to 44 for a low. A mix of sun and clouds Thursday, warming up to 79 degrees. And a mix of sun and clouds Friday, getting up to 86.
This Saturday is the 32nd anniversary of WXVU signing on the FM dial at 89.1. We're holding our WXV Needs You Fund Drive through the anniversary, giving you a chance to support radio at Villanova. To give right now, visit give.wxvu.org. All of us at WXVU thank you for your support.
Forget about your Fridays looking bleak. What about your Wednesdays? Villanova University's award-winning student-run weekly newspaper, The Villanovan, hits residence halls, dining halls, and academic buildings every Wednesday morning for your reading pleasure. Read up on all things Villanova and beyond, from news to sports to arts and entertainment. Have some feedback? Email your response letters to editor@villanovan.com.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to 89.1 FM, WXVU, Villanova Student Run Radio, The Roar. Fun in the Locker Room, Sean Renkel, Liam Holloway, True Car Setter. As always, if you're just joining us now, we just recapped every game of the NBA playoffs so far. Although we didn't talk about the play-in, but sorry, the Thunder lost. There's no need to talk about that. And now we're going to get into some MLB news. We are now, what would you say, like 20 games in for a lot of teams?
Yeah, a little over 20 games.
A little over 20 games in.
No, never mind. I was wrong.
Little less.
Excuse me.
Around 20 games. Right.
Well, let's just call it 20 games. I'm going to open up the floor to you guys. What's going on around the league?
Rays are just still cooking.
Yeah, they did lose the perfect streak, but
They didn't break. Did they break the record or tie the record?
They tied.
Tied the record. 13-0. Wow.
then they ran into the Blue Jays.
Yeah, they're 15-3 right now.
A little bit of slump for them.
Yeah.
2-3 in the last 5.
But that's in the AL. In the NL, unfortunately, reoccurring theme. The Atlanta Braves are just insane. They're on an 8-game win streak right now.
I'm okay with this. I'm excited about this. Because the Mets always seem to get hot at the wrong time. So let the Braves get hot now and we'll get hot later.
I hope. They're already up 3 games on us, and it seems like nobody can beat them. Yeah, Mr. Padres over there can't help us out at all.
Sorry, man.
Okay.
But the Mets made some big call-up news.
Yes, sir.
Brett Beatty, who's been having a tremendous AAA season so far this year, gets called up. He has not made his first. Did he play yesterday? Did he pitch?
He played the first game against the Dodgers and got an RBI single.
Yeah, there we go.
Played very well.
We need his bat in the lineup. Need him playing every day.
Yeah, I think it's time to third base and catcher. The Mets have the lowest production out of any team in the MLB for those positions. It's time to get Beatty in the lineup every day. And, Alvarez has got to be catching 3 out of the 5.
Catching is just such a difficult thing because pitchers just are so particular with their
But
catchers.
we need him to get these
Yep.
reps. We need him to get these reps. Since early in the season, the Mets are looking like they're shaping up to have a good year. I want these guys to be ready come playoff time so they can perform. But Beatty should have been on the opening day roster. Should have been the opening day third baseman. Now he's finally up and he's gonna shine for us. Shout out to Mr. Pete Alonso and Mr. Francisco Lindor, who are both looking like they're gonna be in the running for an MVP. Pete has been absolutely incredible this season. 8 home runs already. The dude is just killing it.
He's on pace to break records.
Yeah, slugging .638, incredible OPS. Lindor leading the MLB in WAR. And his hitting is still around .230, but they're just coming through. And shout out to the Mets. They have so many stolen bases this year.
Yeah. Getting aggressive on the base paths.
Already at 20 stolen bases, which I think they finished last season with around 60, so they're well on pace to shatter that. I'm really excited for what's in store in New York.
Good news for Verlander. He's had his first bullpen session yesterday, so moving to hopefully early May, getting him back on the team would be really nice. Nice to see him out there finally making his Mets debut with all that money we spent into him.
Mm-hmm.
I have a stat question. You talk about WAR. I'm still just trying to wrap my head around it. What does a negative WAR mean?
It means if you took the average AAA player at that position, took their stats, and inserted that into that current player's position, if you have a negative WAR, that means a AAA player would be doing better than you are.
So if your negative WAR is 1, if you had a AAA player there instead of that player, you'd win one more game.
Yeah. It's wins above replacement.
How much you contribute to the team's win.
Yeah.
Who has that negative WAR trait?
Well, this is a good segue into what I was going to talk about. Manny Machado has a negative .5 WAR.
Oof.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm not a happy camper right now in the MLB. Padres are not doing too well. 8-11, third in our division. And, Xander Bogaerts, as I mentioned last week, wow, welcome to San Diego. Happy you're doing so well. Has been going, coming a little bit back down to earth recently. But let's just talk about Juan Soto for a minute. Oh, my God, dude. Batting 175. His on-base percentage is pretty good because the man gets walked every other time. But, this team is not doing well so far. Cronenworth just got a fat contract, batting 210. Manny's batting 240. Outside of Xander, and I guess Nelson Cruz is looking like, he's not 42 anymore.
And your starting pitchers are not doing well at all.
No, and the pitchers have not been good.
Blake Snell, Michael Wacha, both over 6 ERAs.
Ooh.
Blake Snell has been god awful, and that's been really concerning. Darvish had a bad first start, but his last start he pitched really well. We just gave no run support, which is I'm so shocked with this lineup. Hader's been looking good. Seth Lugo's been looking good. And I think really what's going to give a great transition for this team and infuse some energy into them is Tatis is supposed to be back Thursday, and Musgrove is supposed to pitch Saturday, which I think is great because we have a couple of guys who I think were going to be relievers for us starting. I really don't like that Nick Martinez starts. He was just so good for us in the bullpen last year.
So is Tatis sliding into right field?
I think that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna leave the infield the exact same. Unfortunately, keep Soto in left field. Grisham will probably, maybe, could they hide? Would you hide someone in center field?
You can't hide anybody in center field.
So they'll keep Grisham because I'm assuming they have to hide Tatis.
No,
somewhere.
I think Tatis would be a good center fielder. He can't play shortstop. That was the big issue.
Yeah.
I think he could play center field.
That right field has
It's
been
the problem with Soto.
Yeah.
Soto's just so bad.
the right field or the whole outfield has kind of been a little wishy-washy. Grisham's been doing his thing, but Soto has just had some terrible plays.
Soto's defensive WAR is negative.
Really?
Gold Glover.
My
the
God.
right field has just been this carousel of just rotating players. I'm not really familiar with Odor. I don't know if you guys are, but
Yeah.
he had never played right field before that game versus the Mets. Actually played pretty well.
He made a good catch.
Yeah.
Rugen?
Yeah, it's.
We're gonna show. We'll show Truett the clip later of
showed you this, Drew?
What?
a Jose Bautista Odor clip.
Yeah.
No, I've not seen
Odor
it.
slides in the second, or no, Bautista slides in the second
yeah.
into kind of Odor. They get up, push each other a little bit, and then Odor absolutely suckers him.
Really?
Yeah.
Face, yeah.
Really?
Mean right hook.
Best punch in
Wow.
baseball.
Yeah.
Another thing,
Probably the biggest hit of his career for sure.
unlike his brother, Austin Nola is so bad. So bad. Batting 154. And I think we might have said this on the show last week. We were looking at these stats, some of his advanced stats.
That OPS, man.
He is actually so garbage.
Yeah.
He's batting 154. His OPS is 472. He's
That's
batting.
better than it was.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's probably because he snapped his 21
His
at bat.
slugging is 205. So what does that mean? Is he only just hitting singles?
only
Only singles.
purely singles.
Oh my god, dude.
Lots of infield singles
Yeah,
with bloopers into
slappers.
left to right field.
Just slaps it. Yeah.
From what I've heard, like
Dude, he
on
was good too.
Yeah.
Like past 2 seasons before this, you know.
I really like this Luis Campusano guy. He's just batting better, and he's better defensively. I guess what the argument that they're saying, and as someone that hasn't really played baseball, it's kind of hard for me to understand this. They're saying Nola calls a better game.
That's fair.
Yeah. A lot of so catchers, it's one because most of the time the catcher is telling the pitcher what to pitch. So the reliability of the catcher to know what the batter does, tendencies, what the pitcher likes, those kind of things, as well as pitch framing is a big thing. The ability of the catcher to move the ball into the strike zone a little bit to try to deceive the umpire in certain situations.
Yeah.
So the best catchers can do that better than other catchers, and pitchers really form a bond with their catcher. And like, there's some crazy pitchers in the MLB who will only pitch to one guy,
Really?
and the guy might be terrible offensively, but he will be in the lineup when this guy pitches.
Yeah, it's kind of like they call it a battery. You know, your pitcher and your catcher form a battery.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But
Interesting.
Truett, for that point, I mean, Snell and Walker got ERAs up in the 6th. And the 6s, it doesn't really matter who's catching, who's calling games. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
Campusano's got to be in there. I agree with you. He's got to be in there.
Well, and the game last night, I get it. Who was it? Strider last night. Really good game. Gave up 1 hit.
Yeah, you're not going to. Yeah.
But still, I mean, a little bit of run support would be nice. I know Snell is pooping the bed, but you got Manny Machado, Juan Soto, Bogarts.
Yeah.
You know, soon to be Tatis, Cronenworth. Like, yeah, the bottom of the lineup kind of sucks, but like that's a really good top of the lineup.
Tatis is going to inject some life into that
He
lineup.
needs
Because
to.
God, this team needs some life. That's all I got for
8
the
and
Padres.
11? Ooh.
Yeah,
Who's tops of that division? Is it still the...
it's the Diamondbacks. Yeah,
Let's go.
Don't get too excited, Liam. It's early.
I know.
Dodgers are what 500.
9 and 9. Don't worry, we'll take care of them tonight.
Please do.
The Brewers still. It's the Brewers and the Braves in the NL.
How about that Shohei thing? Hit the home run at Yankee Stadium 100 years after they opened it, and Babe Ruth, two-way player.
Yeah. One funny thing I saw was, I don't know if you guys saw this, the A's fans have decided that they're going to reverse boycott the game. So they don't want their team to move, so they're all going to show up to one game to show that A's fans actually
Wow.
would come if they had big fans. They're all going to show up to one game.
Yeah, so the
and
next game
pack
nobody's
the
gonna show
house.
up.
Did you guys see they started selling little possum plushie toys?
Oh, because the possum in the
Oh,
visitor
really?
room,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so they started selling possum plushie animal toys, and
Jeez.
fans were just throwing them around the other game. It was hilarious.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Kind of some injury news. I didn't even know G-Man Choi's on the Pirates now, but Achilles strain, 8 weeks. Has he been doing well since he left
Pirates
the
are
Rays?
balling.
Yeah.
Pirates are 11-7 right now. Same record as the Mets.
I think Stan's out for a little bit.
Yep, Stan's got an injury.
Hamstring. Shout out, I hate to say this, shout out Kershaw with 200th career victory.
He pitched an absolute gem.
How many
last
people
night.
have done that?
Yeah, it's a decent
Good
amount.
amount.
Okay, so it's not like super uncommon,
No.
but it's still,
It's a
give
good
him his flowers.
milestone. Good
Okay.
milestone.
Wow. 200, that's a lot of And that's not even games played, right? Because
No,
you don't get wins
losses,
a lot. Yeah.
no decisions.
Yeah. Wow. Anything else in the world of baseball before we cut to closing segments?
Shout out to Matt Chapman of the Blue Jays, who's been on an absolute tear this season. Other than that, Luis Arias for the Marlins, leading the league in hitting. He's batting .458
It's crazy.
right now.
It's insane.
Garrett Cole's been tearing it up on the mound.
Wow, yeah, really good.
Luis Castillo has been pitching gems. This pains me so much to say, but Marcus Stroman has been dealing this year. I hate that man.
One fun Kershaw stat: he becomes the 4th player in the modern era to reach the 200 win mark before taking his 100th loss. He has got 200 wins and 88 losses.
Wow.
Only other guys are Whitey Ford, Lefty Grove, and Pedro Martinez.
This guy's name was Lefty, so you just said?
Yeah.
What a sick name.
In other news,
Righty.
Shout out. Was he actually a righty?
Yordan Alvarez leading the league in RBIs.
Jordan?
Yep.
He's a lefty.
No surprises there. True with your boy, Mr. Bo Bichetti. It's 29 hits,
Nice.
leading the league, and he just pitched against you guys last night. Spencer Strider, leading the league in strikeouts,
Yeah.
36.
Guy was eating us. Any teams that are we far enough in to say any teams are performing like abysmally worse than anticipated? Like the Cardinals are at the bottom there.
Yeah.
Padres have been.
Yeah, honestly, the Padres.
Thank you, Rank.
Being honest,
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
the Padres and the Cardinals are my two. Yeah, I really thought the Cardinals would be doing better than this.
Also, the Astros are 8-10.
Yeah.
If we're gonna penalize the Padres for being
That's
8
true.
and something, the Astros should get the same thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rank.
I guess same with the Phillies. They're 7-11.
Yep.
They have not looked good all year.
Yeah.
Trey Turner still. I think
Newsflash: Phillies are bad.
close.
Also, the Dodgers are 500. I didn't think anybody expect them to be 500 at this point.
When you run into teams like us,
Yep. So you get-
Alrighty.
tough to pick up wins.
You think the Texas aren't the Rangers not supposed to be like this good?
They're hotter. Like their bullpen has got to be one of the worst in baseball.
Really?
And DeGrom,
Yeah. How's he been doing?
he pitched 4 innings, didn't give up a hit the other day, and left the game.
Something
Why?
tightness.
Yep.
Did he give up a hit? And
He does this. This is LeBron.
Yep.
This is his like.
Good luck. Good luck
MO.
in Texas, my boy.
It's a little hotter down there. You might get a little heat strokes.
Little
Don't forget,
inflammation.
all you listeners out there, Phillies are not good this year. Sorry to break it to you. Birthdays?
We got a lot of birthdays today.
Mutual birthdays today.
So
as
we-
mentioned, Rank, our beloved member of the show yesterday.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, first of all, happy birthday, Rank.
Thank you.
In baseball, we got a bunch of guys. World Series hero from last year, Chas McCormick. Happy birthday. Jackie Bradley Jr.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, my man. And we have a couple legends. Joe Mauer, one of the best catchers in the game, turned 40 today.
Wow.
Frank Viola, Hall of Famer. Happy birthday to you. And then we'll move over to basketball. We got some good ones today. First of all, shout out to the OKC legend, living legend, Mr. Nick Wentz Dort. Turned 24.
baby.
Turned 24 today. Mr. Kelly Olynyk.
Wow.
Turned at 32.
I've got a signature.
Really?
Kelly Olynyk signature.
That's going to be worth...
Like $1.
It's a Kelly Olynyk
That is-
and Evan Turner signed Celtics jersey.
That... Oh, yuck. Nah. That's gross. And then in football, we have a couple guys. Don't know if you've ever heard of them. Lil Jordan Humphrey. Lil
Is he on
Jordan.
the Saints?
He was, yeah.
Wow.
Happy,
Little Jordan.
happy birthday to Lil Jordan. Ryan Cummings.
Wow.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mr. Cummings.
And then we'll see if we got any funny names on here. Mark Van Egg. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to D Hart. Turned 90 today. Wow.
Happy birthday, D.
Happy birthday to you, D. Any soccer guys? No, not looking like it. Oh, yeah. Soccer guy named Jose Alvarado. He's turned 51.
That's an NBA player, man.
It's also a baseball player, too.
Two people have the same names, true.
He played soccer as
I
well.
hadn't thought of that.
He played soccer as well.
Are we sure this isn't all the same guy?
Positive.
He could be doing both.
That's all I got. That's all I got for you guys today.
Happy birthday to everybody out there.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It's 2:30 right now, 2:30 p.m. on this Wednesday. You know, it's getting a little chillier as of late. I thought we were going to get some phenomenal weather, just ride it out in the sunset till the end of the year. But, you know, take our chilly days with our good days. So stay warm out there. 89.1 FM, WXVU, Villanova Student Run Radio. Fun in the locker room. We had some fun in the locker room. We hope you did too. Liam Holloway, Sean Rankle, Truett Carstetter. As always, have a phenomenal rest of the week. We'll see you here next Wednesday, 1 p.m. We'll have even more MLB news, even more NBA news, and
Maybe some
loads.
series will be done by then.
Yeah. We'll probably make some more projections and more predictions and see what else we can get wrong. As always, 89.1 FM WXVU. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you next time.